Okay, so this video covers scoring lines and boring a couple of holes for the Su-85. First thing I want to start out with is just kind of hand flattening these parts. So especially the hull. Just because it warps a little bit when you're gluing it down. Now it's your best opportunity to flatten it as evenly as possible. Okay. I'm going to take a 1/16 bit. I'm going to drill this hole in the back of the lower hull side. You'll have two of these lower hull sides and two track covers as well. And then just push a bamboo skewer through the hole here. And use a blade to cut off this open wound effect on the back. And if this part comes apart or delaminates, you can see the layers of cardboard here separating sometimes when you push the skewer through. Just put some 2-to-1 glue on there to harden it again, because you don't want that coming apart. And you can bore out this hole in the front, but I wouldn't push a skewer through it yet until it's actually installed on the tank. It's just a little bit too close to the edge for comfort, for my comfort. So you'll break through the side sometimes, so just leave that intact. And we can move on to the next step. Now I've got an extra blade here that has been sanded down with sandpaper to make it extremely dull. Much more than this. I've sanded it lots of times. It's as dull basically as you can make it. And that's what I use to score the lines, so I don't actually cut through the paper. I literally just score it. So you can kind of use like a kitchen knife to do the same job, but the blade on the kitchen knives I tried it with are so thick that it's hard to see where you're cutting. So I just ended up dulling down a utility knife, and it works great. And just use, you can use a good amount of pressure. Like, you don't want to push as hard as you can, but you can use a significant amount of pressure while doing this. Which, if you were using a sharp blade, you couldn't use pressure really at all. So for some of these longer folds, you'd use a ruler sort of as a fulcrum to bend it over, just so you get it nice and straight. But the rest of them are short enough that you can just bend them over. It's fine. And here's a superstructure. Just make sure I'm using the right one still. Yep. Now I would use a fulcrum for this rear one just because the piece is so thin. Sometimes it doesn't fold all at once. The rest of them you should be fine. And the two track covers, make sure you have a left and a right. It's just one piece to score, or one score on each end. And you're ready for your next step.